Have you ever felt so sad, unmotivated, and tired every day that it was difficult for you to get out of bed and do anything productive? If that's the case, you might be in a rut. I was recently in that situation too, and in this video I'll share with you how I got myself unstuck. Hey, it's Fernando here, and I make these videos because you are either having a hard time dealing with yourself or you are trying to be better at serving others. I'm on a mission to introduce or reintroduce compassion for yourself and for others, helping you reach your goals as you lead others do the same. I have always seen myself as hyper productive, focused, and high energy worker. I have always advocated excellence. I have pushed myself beyond my boundaries. But in the recent months, I went through a slump that I never thought I would have. It became difficult for me to wake up and be excited about work. Other than the work I do for my agency, I found everything else unmotivating and without a sense of purpose. So today, you're probably here because you are in a rut, or you know someone who is. So here are 10 things I did to get out of rut. I stopped letting my phone set my pace for the day. I used to check my notifications and those red counters on app icons first thing in the morning. I learned that this removes the intentionality in how I want to go through my day. I then avoided getting sucked into the rabbit hole of these stressors and responding to the demands of other people because it depleted my energy early in the morning. But the things that I do are not necessarily the most impactful things I should do for me to reach my goals. Instead, I got up and built my morning routine that set me up to succeed for the day, like hydrating, taking my vitamins, staying consistent in my prayer and meditation, taking morning walks, and reminding myself of my personal goals. I chose to give up my disease to please. I started setting personal boundaries. I recognized that the people and circumstances will always demand for my time and attention, and everyone else's concerns will present themselves as urgent and critical. I understand that if I don't protect my time from the demands and priorities of other people, I will get exhausted fast, leaving me no time and energy for the things that matter most in my life. I set an out of office auto reply on my email address. I did not give in to the urge of replying to emails quickly. Since I started doing this, I am able to allot my mind space and energy on the most critical tasks that move the needle for my business. I was able to free up time for the things and people that really matter to me. It was freeing and empowering. I identified the negative self-talk. When things started to get better, I sought time to organize my thoughts and identify the unwanted narrative I've been telling myself. I noticed that I have been blaming God, my circumstances such as being stuck in this country that is heavily in the other side of the leverage curve, among many others. Content from authors and speakers like Evan Carmichael, Gary Vaynerchuk, Tom Bellew, Lewis Howes, Darren Hardy, Brandon Burchard got me to tone down how I judge myself. Having been good at most things I dabbled in, I started to expect too much from myself too soon. I was telling myself that I should be getting better results because I studied communications in a university, I took MBA units, I had my fair share of successes in the projects I've handled in the past, among many others. I also realized that the things I did at work, no matter how engaging and exciting they were when I started, do not resonate with me anymore. The sense of mission I have for my agency gives me more drive now. It was clear that I am not in the same state as when I started doing them. So I gave myself the permission to lie low and rethink my priorities in life goals, habits, relationships, among others. I stopped romanticizing being busy. After even much progress on scientific research and practical knowledge about productivity, there are still a lot of people who romanticize the idea of being busy, or at least appear to be doing something productive. And sometimes, they tend to bring other people with them. Once I acknowledged this to be true in some areas of my life, I took ample time to identify and rank my priorities based on how I see them prioritized in my life, and not based on the demands of other people of my time. Though to acknowledge that you are in a rut. The earlier you know that you're not really doing well deep inside, the sooner you will get clarity on what to address and how to address them. That was true to me. It took me months to acknowledge this because I always thought of myself as self-motivated, always mission-driven. But months passed and I don't feel the zeal to do things asked of me. I did not feel an affinity towards the vision and mission I was trying to work hard for. So I took the courage to name it as it is. I was in a slump. I was in a rut. Maybe borderline depressed, but that's an issue for another video. I identified and progressively addressed the issues that I have control of. Before I go deeper into this topic, let me quickly differentiate things that we have control of and things that we don't have control of. Things we don't have control over are the opinion of other people about us, their response or reactions to our actions or inactions, their expectations, and how they act on their responsibilities, or the overall way they act and think as their unique own individual. Things you have control over are the time you wake up, the time you sleep, your choice of food, your decision to take a walk or read a book, your choice of content to consume, among many others. In my case, things in business and at work became overwhelming, but also is my immediate surrounding. My apartment was a mess for having too much stuff I haven't sorted for years. Printers I have used before in my desktop publishing business, old files that I never found time to sort, electronics that I've been meaning to dispose of properly for years, and many more. I never got into sorting these things out carefully because I was too busy addressing other people's demand for my time and attention. So, I took the time to sort things, declutter, and organize everything I have in my apartment. It was also a good timing that quarantine measures were lifted and that I was able to send out other stuff I don't use anymore to those who would need to use them. I designed a morning routine to address the issues that kept me stuck. For me, I needed to address overwhelm first. Since I felt a total loss of control on every part of my business and work, I built my evening and morning routines to particularly address that. Every night, I dump all the thoughts that I have in my head in a notebook. And whenever I can, I organize these thoughts before sleeping. But getting them out of my head is what's important. I do the same in the morning. I dump all the things running in my mind in a notebook so I can clear my head, organize things, and exercise control over them, and not the other way around. I decided to get out of it as fast as I can. I'm sure it's easier and sometimes comforting that we have our circumstances or other people to blame for our misery. But the sooner I accepted that it is my responsibility to get back up, the sooner I was able to recover. We often have the tendency to relinquish control of our future to the things that happened in our past. But our first leap forward will be from the first step that we take, and not from the effort of someone else. I sought help as early as I could. For others, this may be in the form of a therapy or getting a life coach, a performance coach, or consulting a career advisor, among others. But what worked for me is to be vulnerable with a person I can fully trust. In my case, it was my girlfriend who was very patient with me, helped me sort through my things in clutter, listened to my ramblings, and believed that things will get better. Then, I sought a life coach to guide me, get me back on my feet, point out my blind spots, and remind me of the things I often forget, but also to periodically assess my progress. Lastly, I welcome the idea of self-compassion. Some of us despise the idea of self-love, but more often, the people who despise the idea of self-love have yet to encounter a sense of self-awareness that's deeper than what they are comfortable with. The farther we go in our journey of self-awareness, the more resistant we get to finding out our vulnerabilities. I realized that I needed to take care of myself and value myself equally, if not a bit more, than I value other people. In as much as no other person knows me better than I know myself, no one else is in a better position to give me the pat on the back than myself. Everyone has their own problems to solve, concerns to address. I can address mine. I should address mine. This set me up to be able to serve more people if our personal needs are met. We can unselfishly help other people to the best of our abilities. So this is just a practical application of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So we must say our own prayers, fortify our own mind, drink our own medicine, and remove ourselves from harm's way before we do that for others. Before a plane takes flight, we are reminded to put on our masks first before putting on someone else's. I hope you found these things useful like it did for me. But again, you have your own unique personality and equally unique journey. So use these tips as you see fit. As a disclaimer, this is no way, in shape or form, a substitute to professional help. If you need professional help, check my links below where you can find them. If you found this video useful, or if you need help with your personal struggles in your career or as an entrepreneur, comment below your questions and I'll do my best to answer them or get other people to answer them in my next video. Share this video to those who need it, or subscribe and ring the notification bell if you want to get notified when new content such as this one gets published. Thanks for watching, and remember, everyone needs compassion.